Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. Today we are still talking about the NFL. I told you I'm going to take a little break on MLB for a while until there's more updated information. So I want to talk about a big thing today about not only the drafts, but what I want to speak about is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins passed his physical today, which was one major part to the trade. However, we all know, especially us Cardinal fans know, that wasn't the big part of the trade that we're worried about. The David Johnson physical part is something that I'm more concerned with because I want to make sure that everything is fine with him, and if he passes his physical and everything is fine, wonderful. I'm sure it will be fine, but we also know his history of problems. Right? I haven't heard anything yet, so I'm sure everything should be good. Cross fingers. But what I want to talk about is the draft. Right? I was watching one of the Cardinal videos today, and I've been talking to a bunch of Cardinal fans going back and forth about CeeDee Lamb and a back and forth about what we should do. Here's some options that I want to speak about. Last year, if we would have got DK Metcalf, right, would have this mattered? No. If Metcalf goes to the Cardinals, all this is different. We already got our big receiver, and then we would have probably still would have added DeAndre Hopkins, or who knows if we would have or not, to be honest with you. But if we would have had Metcalf, things would have changed. Last year, Arizona made a bunch of receiver moves, right? And I get it. So Butler got injured last year. That changed everything because he was our big guy threat. CeeDee Lamb was just quoted saying about how much he would love to go to Arizona. The reason I'm talking about CeeDee Lamb, guys, and the reason I continue to sound like a parrot is for a bunch of reasons. Here's the only way I'm accepting if we don't get CeeDee Lamb. We might as well make a trade. That's my opinion. I'd rather trade, move down a little bit, go up maybe to like the 15th pick or 16th pick, wherever the hell we can go, right? Just go there, and then after that, get a second round pick. Then I will understand why. If you're not going to get Lamb, I do not see the necessity of keeping that 8th pick just for the offensive lineman Wills or Wirfs. I can still see a really good O lineman in the 15th or a really, really good defender. Unless, if you're going to keep the 8th pick for me, you got to go with Lamb, right? You have to. I don't understand people when they say to fill your needs. Yes, you need to fill your needs. You absolutely need to fill needs. But at the same time, you need to stay and keep and go for these caliber players that can change franchises. So who can Arizona trade down with if they needed to trade down, right? Who could they go move to like that? It's either Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay wants to get an offensive lineman for sure, right? They got to protect Brady. They could trade with Atlanta. That's another one. Atlanta and Tampa Bay, to me, are the main two teams that I can see them going to trade with. There's a couple others in there that are definitely there, but I could see really Tampa, the Broncos. The Broncos are another one, right? These guys are looking for offensive linemen, so they may just tend to go a little bit and make the trade. I'm all for getting a second round pick and then having later in the first round, second and third. If we're not getting Lamb, let's do that, right? None of those other guys to me are really worth not getting CeeDee Lamb. They're just not. I'd rather get another extra pick. I'd rather get a good O lineman, right? Get a second round pick and the third round pick that we have, great. Instead of just getting Wirfs and then waiting to the third round to get somebody else, whether you're going to get a running back, a defender, or anything. I was talking to somebody today about, they were arguing with me how bad Arizona's defense was last year. I agree how horrible that defense was. But I like some of the signings. I like Patrick Peterson playing a full year. I've seen Arizona defense change later on in the year. And also, Arizona's offense put their defense there a bunch of times also with a bunch of either 3-and-outs or a bunch of missed opportunities when they kept having to get field goals because they didn't have somebody to be a playmaker besides Larry. So that's where, guys, playmakers are very hard to find. Last year when we got Isabella, this guy's good, right? He's fast. You've seen what he can do with a couple of those catches. Maybe he wasn't used correctly. I understand that. Keyshawn Johnson, I like that kid. I like it. So the likelihood of us getting a receiver doesn't make sense, right? I understand that. But how important is the reputation that Kyler Murray is telling his GM? If Murray's their guy, right? Murray is he's their future. They want to make Kyler Murray happy. So if Murray's saying to do this, a lot of like if Arizona doesn't make this trade, I expect CeeDee Lamb. If you don't see Arizona making a trade there, expect Lamb. I just can't see them sitting there drafting an offensive lineman just for that. I keep banging my head on this. I keep going on different websites. I keep looking at what people are saying. I keep listening to the Arizona website. And I'm going back, and I need some feedback, guys. I need some feedback of, do you think that we should trade down? Do you think that we should trade and we should go to 15th or 16th pick, right? And just go from there. Maybe get a pick there, get an offensive lineman, get a defender, right? Get a cornerback maybe if they feel that they need help. But Patrick Peterson's not the same guy. Maybe you need a cornerback. Fine. You can do that, and then in the second round, you can get an offensive lineman, and maybe you don't touch the offense until later on and get a running back. Maybe you don't need to touch it. Do I feel that they need to touch it? No, maybe you just take a chance and say, you know what? DeAndre Hopkins, that was the main guy. We got Drake back. Great. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like a freaking parrot repeating myself every time about this. I keep looking at it. I just don't get it, right? Tampa Bay, for example. Let's talk about the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, look at their two main receivers they have, right? They got two great guys. They have a deep ball threat, and they have a guy who can go up the middle. So, again, Hopkins is great. Larry is terrific, but he's not the same, okay? He's still really, really good. But again, you're putting a lot on a guy who's in his mid-30s, okay? I don't trust Kirk. So if that's the case, you need somebody else to step up. All right, again, I will mention either Hunt or Throckmorton. These are good offensive linemen that will be there in the third round. They will be there. They are good offensive linemen that can fit in Arizona's fast up-tempo offense. Remember, Kyler doesn't hold the ball. He's not going to hold it too long, right? We have guys now. That is why the offensive... Does anybody remember how good the offensive line looked towards the end of the season? Do you remember how the holes were opening up for Drake? Like it was crazy at one point. We were dominating Seattle, so we were moving San Francisco's line. Our offensive line was looking good at some point. There was a lot of injuries going on at that time, right? It was a lot of injuries. So that's the question. Do you take a chance in not getting Lamb just to get the offense, or do you hope all those guys that you made the move and trusted since they got hurt, maybe they're going to come back and do well? I'd rather bet on the offensive line coming back and doing better with those guys who were injured than drafting an offensive lineman and missing a great opportunity at Lamb to give him to the 49ers. Because then when we play San Francisco and that amazing defense plays, and then we have to match up with Samuel and Lamb, that's not going to be easy, right? If the defense is not good as it is. So that's my opinion. I'm just saying, man, I'm sorry that I keep making this video and trying to add things to it, and I'm just banging my head, and I need things from you guys to tell me if you think we should make a trade. I think just let me know if you think we should go for a second pick. Let me know if you think if we could get Lamb, do you still make the pick for to go for the second round and this trade to go maybe around 16th or 17th pick, or do you sit there and go, you know what, we don't need to do that, right? We're just gonna get Lamb, and then we're gonna wait to the third round, and then we're gonna go for a guy like Throckmorton. A thing that I was throwing out there, something that I threw out there that maybe nobody's gonna think. I was gonna say get rid of Christian Kirk, draft CeeDee Lamb, trade Kirk to somebody, get a second round pick, get an offensive lineman. Okay, that's what I would do. That's just my opinion. I would draft Lamb, see if I could trade Kirk to get a second round pick, and then go from there. That's what I would do. I'm being honest with you. I don't know if I put my trust into Christian Kirk yet. Is he good? Absolutely. Do I trust him being healthy? I don't know. You guys remember Floyd? Remember when we were like, wow, this guy's going to be a beast? Guy couldn't stay healthy. I kind of gives me that vibe. You know, can he play well? Yes. Would you trade Christian Kirk for a second round pick? Okay? Draft Lamb, trade Kirk, get an offensive lineman in the second round. Let me know what you think. Talk to you guys.